Good morning on this holiday, January 15th at 8:30 in the morning, 2024, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, federal holiday. You already know who I am. I'm Trooper Steve Montiero, your traffic safety expert, here with you on this holiday. And just because traffic's a little low doesn't mean we're not going to talk about certain areas, safety, things like that. I'm out here at Colonial Drive and I-4, a hotspot, what I like to really call the pinpoint center of Metro Orlando. It's where Colonial and I-4 come right into contact with each other. It's really the center portion of Central Florida, or at least what we refer to as the center portion of Central Florida. I know I do. The big spaghetti bowl where 408, Colonial, I-4 all come together, and all the crazy, just need a little good pasta sauce on that, and you'd be good to go. If only it was that easy, right? It's pretty messed down here. So what we're doing right now is we're sitting out here. We are looking, so I'm sitting facing westbound, right up against I-4 at the exit to Colonial. And to most, this is a well-traveled area. This is a high-commuted area. And so what I want to do here is just show you a little bit of what we're looking at specifically today. Using my little handheld camera here, and you can see here in the downtown area, when you exit off of I-4 westbound to Colonial Drive, you have a few different options here. And what do I mean by options? I mean your travel lanes. So the signs tell you one thing, but the roadway can kind of mean another thing. So when you're exiting here, and say if you made a mistake and you're trying to get onto I-4, those two left through lanes appear like they go onto I-4, but in actuality they don't. And that's a big problem. And a lot of people may say, well, Steve, if you're exiting I-4, what's the problem? Behind me here, there are two entrances to this specific area. You have Ivanhoe, and then you have the exiting traffic to I-4. So just because someone is here doesn't mean that they're necessarily exiting I-4. They could be trying to get onto it. So when you look here specifically, you have two left turning lanes and two through lanes. The right left turning lane is also a straight lane. So you've got to be really careful. But the left, see, look at that car just sitting there, not paying attention. Get your head out the phone. So that left through lane is technically the only one that connects to the exit ramp, even though the upper signs say keep going east. But the next entrance is technically only from that left one. And if you think this is the only trouble spot, you are mistaken heavily. So if you're headed in the other direction, then you run into the problem of the exact same thing, but with turning traffic. It's kind of a mess. So I want to drive it. I want to drive around this little area a little bit, talk about it. And there's really no instant results we can get other than me telling you what lane you should be in. But that doesn't mean everyone else is going to do it. Huge shout out to Sonny's Barbecue for hooking me up with a cup this weekend. I got to host a very serious barbecue competition between the Apopka Fire Department and Apopka Police Department. Awesome meeting the chiefs and all their members of the agency this weekend. Real strict, but man, those ribs were good from both teams. Chicken kind of set y'all apart, and that mystery meat set y'all apart, but fire department took home the win. All right, let's go for a drive, and so I can show you what I'm talking about. So, all right, you see how this left lane says you can get onto I-4, and so does this center lane based off of the top signs? It's not technically true. Only the left lane here can get onto I-4. So if I was from Ivanhoe and got right here, I'm screwed, because you would have to fight the left lane traffic that's right next to us in order to get onto I-4. So there are other ramps and there are other ways, but this is something that does cause a backup here. My honest opinion, there should be a sign that specifically says left lane entrance to I-4 westbound only. Don't label these. Even though there are areas to get on, you're up ahead, you can almost see it. You can't see it. There are cars. Oh my God. We're going to watch this happen. I'm going to find a little spot because this might be an extended stream today because we're really going to, I want to show you. All right, here we go. Watch. Let's see if it happens. So we're going here straight. No one here is doing it, so we're okay. Get over to this left lane. I don't want to get on I-4 under any circumstance. So there is an area of confusion, but I really liked how that disaster was there. And then look, if you fight that fight, understand you have another entrance right here to get on from Amelia. So you do not need to fight that fight there. Here you have an opportunity. Just skip that one. Don't push over into traffic, and you can get on right here at the very next light. It's not going to slow you down. It's not going to impede your day. It's really not going to mess much up, except for these guys who can't figure out how to make a right turn around some traffic cones because some lights are flashing. Unbelievable. I'm unhinged today, y'all. So get ready. If I see some crazy stuff, I may lose it with you. It just makes no sense. And then anytime that I'm real calm, I come out here with you guys, this stuff happens. So, but you need to watch out for the construction because it's all over the place. It could be permanent, it could be temporary, it could be a fix, it could be a cleanup. But when you see cones and stuff like this, especially with your ramps, you must be careful and have an alternate plan. You can't just be dedicated to doing one thing all the time. So just something to be, look at it. People are so messy. My gosh. Be careful, guys. All right, so where my plan is, I want to show the westbound portion of I-4, of excuse me, let's start over. Westbound Colonial approaching the I-4 interchange. Not the nicest area when it comes to that traffic intermingling with each other. So I want to show it, and we may even get an opportunity to get out so you can see how absolutely ridiculous this is and what happens. Waiting for this light to turn. Green, taking forever. Here we go. Make sure you yield to pedestrians. No one's there. We're good. So we're going to go up a little further through downtown because I don't want to get caught too far west of that intersection. But if you're joining us this morning, we are talking on patrol today about Colonial Drive and I-4, the downtown Orlando area, State Road 50 and State Road 400. Traveling through this area could give anyone gray hair, but if you don't know some of the tricks of the trade down here, you can get yourself into a minor crash or some frustrated encounters with other drivers because of how the signs correlate with the downtown, the signs correlate with the roadway. And sometimes it just doesn't match up 100%, and we got to be super cautious of that. So let's continue this way. OPD doing something. Going down the sidewalk over there. Anyways, I'm nosy. You guys like it. I know. I enjoy being nosy. Alright, so we're downtown. Someone's got some herbal essence being burned out in the downtown area that is making its way inside my vehicle. If you understand me, you might understand my sarcasm. Okay, so if you're joining us this morning, we're talking downtown Orlando, I-4 Colonial. some of the confusion that happens with the signs and the roadway. Ever since the expansions happened down here, a lot of construction has happened, and a lot of lanes have disappeared, have popped up, new signs. But there's been some frustrating things. We just tackled one of them, westbound I-4, exiting to Colonial. And if you're crossing over Colonial, some of those lanes do intermingle with each other, especially if you're hopping on from Ivanhoe, because that exit ramp from I-4 west to Colonial mixes with the I-4 westbound entrance ramp to Colonial. Hope that made sense. So some drivers are clearing I-4, some have the intention to get on I-4. So you've got to be really, really careful in situations like that. So we looked at that. We talked about the angles in that area and how we should be traveling. And if you're getting on from Ivanhoe, big thing is, if you miss that immediate one after Colonial, you can't get in the left lane, it's okay. Stay in the center, because it turns into the left lane. And then right at Amelia, you can hop onto I-4. So just little things that I want you to add to your traffic box, your traffic toolbox, because that allows us to really gain some knowledge and go like that. I count to 4. If the light is green, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, I'll give you a little love tap of the horn. Because at that point, you should be paying attention. I don't care. And I never lay it on. It's a little little polite little because people need to pay attention. This driver in this Tahoe, too comfortable this morning with the arm, look at the arm across, just chilling. Nothing, I'm not hating on it. I'm just hating that they're not paying attention when the light turns green. When I was in Canada, coolest thing I've seen at their traffic lights, they, obviously same thing, green, yellow, red, but when it's green, when it's red, right before it turns green, they give you a little steady yellow to prep you, to get you to pay attention, and then it turns green. I have never been so blown away by people all going at the same time in my life. They need to implement that here. It was pretty cool. All right, so we are now right here at Colonial, and we are going to head westbound on Colonial, approach I-4. And look at the sign here. I'm going to intentionally not get on I-4, but I want to, maybe we see the mess that happens here so I can explain it to you, and then we'll get out. I think I want to get out and show you the absolute circus that takes place with people traveling westbound on Colonial trying to go to westbound I-4. Ha! Circus. Circus, circus, circus. So, pretty cool morning. It's nice and chilly. What's my car say? 59 degrees outside. Got the hoodie on. Take it easy today. Not much traffic, which is nice. We got to remember it is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. He would have been 95 years old. So today is a day of service, all right? If you're not out doing anything today, maybe a kind act of service today in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King. It's not a day to take off. It's a day to be on. Just waiting for this light to change so we can head west. That's the benefit, or the disadvantage of being live. I got to tiptoe with you guys for like ever. All right, here we go. Let's head west on Colonial Drive, State Road 50 here by the 7-Eleven. We're approaching Orange Avenue. And today's topic's I-4 Colonial. That is I-4 right in front of us currently. And so if you travel through this area, you might be familiar. We're facing westbound here at Orange on Colonial. Our next intersection would be I-4. There are 2 signs up ahead that says 2 I-4 West, Tampa left lane, 2 I-4 East, Daytona to the right. So as we approach this, let's go. As we approach this, watch what happens. You get 2 left turning lanes. So if I was to stay here, there's a problem. This is what people need to pay attention to. To get to I-4 West, you need to be in the far left lane. To Huey Ave, you keep yourself right here. This is not, I get so ticked off. This is not to pass everybody who wants to get on I-4. If you look at the sign up there, I-4 West is in the left lane. Huey Ave is in the right left turning lane. What happens? People get in this one that I'm in right now, like this guy probably is, and then they fight to get over. My biggest hope is that this law enforcement officer that's 2 cars behind me does not do the exact same thing. So we're going to be able to watch. We're going to be able to watch here in just a second and see what happens. I'm going to try so we can view this. Here we go. Not yet. So again, westbound Colonial at the I-4 light. Left turning lane, I-4 West. Right left turning lane, Huey Avenue. Okay? This is the biggest problem because people in this travel lane fight to get over in the right. And I'm hoping we don't see it, but at the same time we do. Here we go. So watch. This car here, that guy's on the phone, but get over. I'm going to stay here, but I'm also going to flip the back camera on so you can watch these interesting folks fight each other. Oh, that car did it. It got over. All right, so let's get over. Good job, guys. Good job. Good job. Good job. Bad spot for me. Let's get turned around. Trying to find a spot because I really want to watch this intersection right here, because this is the biggest problem, is right there. And I'm trying to find a legal and safe place for us to pull up and watch this, because it is so frustrating. I'm actually going to sit here for a second until someone comes up behind us and maybe we could see it all happen. So pull up a little bit. As long as no one comes up behind me, we're going to use our mobile camera here so we can watch the intersection. Here it is. Watch. Watch them fight. See him push over? So on a crazy day, this would get backed up right here at this entrance because drivers in double lanes try to push over. So what did we figure out just a second ago? If you're traveling westbound Colonial, they've added some signage. That right left turning lane is not for you to get on I-4, and it's most definitely not for you to pass the people in the left lane trying to get on I-4. It's a huge problem, and that's what contributes to some of these minor crashes. Get it, brother? And that's what contributes to a lot. Going this way, that way. Sometimes not sure where these trucks are going. So we're going to watch it again. And if you're joining us this morning, we're watching Colonial and I-4 intersection out here. I'm probably going to have to move because this tow truck's going to mess up my shot trying to get up in here. And yeah, they're making me move. All right. I'm not sure where this guy's going. It's all just trying to stay out of their way, guys. All right. So we're back out. Light's going to change. And let's watch it again, all right? So The intersection here, kind of crazy, but if you're out here at all, you have an understanding of what I'm talking about. So let's look at this. I am in the southwest corner at the hotel that is here at the intersection, and I'm right off of Huey watching the Colonial and I-4 interchange. What we're getting ready to watch is westbound Colonial get the green light, and then all turn to southbound Huey. The left turning lane goes to I-4. The right left turning lane goes to Huey. What do we see though too often? Is that right Huey lane fights to get over on the traffic that's in the right lane, but their purpose is to get on that left lane there. So let's check out and see what happens. Here we go. So you're watching. Blue car is in the right travel lane, doing the right thing. And you see the black Chevy, the Toyota there, pushing its way over. Wrong lane. Toyota doing the same thing. Couldn't figure it out. Thank you to this Bronco for obstructing my view. But you can see how traffic is getting back there. See how slow that is? Because these people are pushing into the wrong lane. Same thing's going to happen. Oh. Bicycle needs to be careful. So watch here. Good job. So if you're joining, you're probably like, man, what am I watching this morning? You're watching me monitor Colonial Drive and State Road 50, and you're almost watching it all happen again out here. So these ramps are quick. You need to make sure you know what travel lane you're in. So we're here monitoring the east-west on both 50 and 400 and wondering why these lanes block up. Well, I'm going to tell you why they block up. I-4 westbound, there's a little confusion when you exit there because it does mix with Ivanhoe traffic. So a lot of drivers who are exiting there don't understand there are still some people who need to get onto I-4. So they mix up and you're not realizing what lane you're in, and when you're that Ivanhoe driver trying to get on I-4 at Colonial, you're in the center lane. To you, your next exit has to be right there, when in theory it could be up here at Amelia, because up here at the light up ahead, if you look one intersection down, there's a direct on-ramp to westbound I-4 that will not cause that slowdown. The problem is people want to fight and get impatient. The westbound Colonial, though, on Colonial there, as you approach I-4, what's the problem there? It's you, the driver. It is you 100%. 2 left turn lanes. One to get on I-4, the other one to go south on Huey. It's not 2 to get on I-4. It's 1. So if you're on Colonial, you're not to use that right Huey left turn to cut off traffic trying to get on into the left lane of I-4, because that's what's causing the problem. I 100%. We just watched it 5 times. We're going to watch it one more time before we wrap this up for today. But that is the cause of the main problem. So let's look at it again, because they're getting ready to come through. Got my fancy stick here. And when they come through here, I just want you to pay attention to what we're seeing, because it's pretty clear. All right, check it out. So you got these lanes there. And then drivers fight to get in. Watch the truck. Pushed its way through. Wasn't supposed to be there. Jeep doing the same thing. Pushing its way through. Wasn't supposed to be there. Who else is going to do it? Look at that one. Kia. Same thing. Imagine if this wasn't a... Look at this driver. All the way over. Imagine if this wasn't a holiday. How busy it would be here. Pretty crazy. And I didn't even have that camera on. And you can watch a little bit of it. Even that Ivanhoe traffic, like that blue Civic there, their intention, they got on from Ivanhoe, they want to get over. It all makes sense. We just need to work together with it. My poor and horrible camera work right there, we failed to watch it, so we're going to watch one more light cycle. And you can kind of see a little bit of it when it does happen. But we'll watch one more light cycle as that. And you've got crews out here working, guys. So you've got to be careful. This is a very, very busy area. So Colonial and 50 Orange County is the topic of the day for today, and it's really got us out here doing what we do and observing traffic. So let's watch it again. Watch this. So the cars, see how that Kia took such a far hard right, hard left turn? It's because people are in the wrong travel lane. And that's what's causing a big problem. So when you're out in this area, you've got to be aware of a few things. One, yourself. How are we operating these cars? How are we doing the right thing? Am I in the right travel lane? If I am in the right travel lane, what are the other cars doing? If I'm not in the right travel lane, am I going to impede other traffic so that I can make the proper maneuver? Something to think about. The answer should be no. Am I paying attention to what my next move is up ahead? A lot of that has a lot to do with it. Am I making the right judgment call? Are my actions messing up traffic up ahead or behind me? Now, a lot of you may not care, but that is something really, really to think about. Because if it's not a thought of yours, you're the people I'm looking for. You're the people the troopers are looking for. So, what did we hit today? I-4 Colonial, one of the busiest intersections in Central Florida, probably one of the most frustrating. It's been through a lot of construction, but we looked at two specific areas, right? I-4 westbound exiting to Colonial, and why that ramp can be a little frustrating. A lot of people don't realize Ivanhoe is entering to your area. It's not just exiting. So you've got to be cautious and know what travel lane you're in. Part 2 of that area, if you're exiting I-4, don't worry, you're fine. But keep in mind, for those Ivanhoe drivers, just because you don't get to I-4 right after Colonial right there, you got another entrance a block ahead. I promise it will not slow your commute down. And it may even help you out. You may not get into a crash. Second area we hit was westbound Colonial approaching I-4. So think about where we're talking about. I-4 is in front of us. We're at Orange Avenue, railroad tracks right there. You have 2 left lanes. One left lane is to get onto I-4 west. The other left lane is to head on Huey south. Why do we have a backup there? Because drivers that are trying to get onto I-4 use the Huey left lane and then they push their way into the other traffic. When in theory, you could be using the same Amelia on-ramp that everybody else from Ivanhoe is using. So it's a give and take. I hope this explains some of the problems out there. I think one day I need to take my patrol car out there outside of news and write some tickets in the city. But pay attention, know where you're going before you go, and don't make your mistakes everyone else's problems. Traffic mistakes are little inconveniences in our lives that we do not have to escalate to an area where it causes trouble in our lives. So pay attention to downtown. Be nice to each other. Don't fix your mistakes right away unless they're going to cause harm, but reroute yourself down the road. Absolutely love you guys on this MLK Day. Hope you've had a beautiful day so far. It's a day of service. It's a day of being grateful. It's a day of kindness. Pass that on today if you do anything else. Just make sure you are kind to people today. And make sure it's intentional. Make sure you know what you're doing so it becomes a pattern. If you're out driving, pay attention. Wear your seatbelt, guys. Love you, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.